Are you looking to be more creative and make more music? Do you look at your favorite artists and wonder how they're so prolific, constantly releasing new music? After making music for the last 25 years and talking to hundreds of professionals on the Music Production Podcast, I've boiled it down to 4 philosophical strategies you can adopt to get in the creative zone faster, finish more music, and have more fun doing it. Number 1, inspiration follows action. You can't sit around and wait to be inspired. You have to show up. You have to start even if you aren't incredibly motivated. We tend to think that you need to be inspired to take action, but no, it's the other way around. Inspiration follows action. So play your guitar, jam on your synth, start making a beat, and inspiration will eventually come. Don't wait for it. Go out and hunt it down. Otherwise, it may not come at all. You can't rely on inspiration. You'll wait and never get to work. Think of inspiration as a gift that shows up when you start to work on your craft. If you are lucky enough to be inspired first, drop everything and pursue that inspiration. It's a rare and precious moment that needs to be acted on immediately. You won't remember later. And even if you write it down, you're not going to feel the same way. You got to act on it when you feel it. Use it or lose it. But most of the time, you have to work first and then get inspired. So operate under the philosophy that inspiration follows action and get to work. Number 2, adopt the yes and attitude. You're going to be rushed for time. Sometimes it seems like the world is actively trying to get in the way of us making our art. But the truth is we all have the same 24 hours in each day. Most of them wind up getting wasted. Now I could talk about binge watching Netflix or scrolling social media on your phone, but let's assume that you've already taken on the first principle of inspiration follows action and you've gotten to work. Let's not waste that time too. Try not to spend too much time deciding which ideas to pursue. Adopt this yes and attitude. Yes and is an improv comedy philosophy where if somebody suggests something to you, you agree with it and you add to it. So you're not saying, no, that's not a good idea, let's try something else. If somebody says, hey, there's a purple elephant walking in the room, you say, oh my God, and he's got a briefcase full of money. You just add to it and then that person adds to it and you build on what you have. Now, this is great for collaborating, but it's also really great when we work on our own. We want to support our ideas and give ourselves some momentum while we're working. Yes and is a great way to build momentum because you're constantly moving forward. Rejecting ideas puts you in a critical mindset. And when you're just starting out an idea, it's way too early to get critical. There's no way of telling whether an idea is any good until you try it. Saying yes to ideas puts you in this exploratory and creative mindset where you're trying to figure out solutions to the ideas you've come up with. You're trying to solve problems. That's creativity. It's welcoming and it's encouraging and it helps us get into this mindset of making something and building on the decisions we've already made. And it prevents us from becoming too judgmental too early. So as you come up with ideas, say yes and how can I add to this? Number 3, don't be afraid to be simple. Making music is not about impressing other people. That's an ego thing. It's about creating emotional impact and affecting the way we feel and expressing ourselves. And sometimes simplicity is the best way to do that. And when we're first starting an idea, being simple is a great place to start. Besides, most complex ideas are really a lot of simple ideas put together, or maybe small twists put on simple ideas that make it more complex. You don't need too much complexity to make something interesting, just a dash here and a dash there. But focusing on being simple and not being afraid of doing stuff that's easy is a great way to move forward. You can't do complex things until you have the basics down anyway. So get the basic ideas down and then make subtle adjustments along the way to add your complexity. But don't be afraid to be simple. And the 4th thing you can do to be more creative and make more music is to commit to your decisions. Decide on things and move forward. Paint yourself into a corner. Give yourself limitations. Give yourself restrictions. Give yourself problems to solve. And when you make decisions, stick to them. Don't look back to see how you can fix them, how you could have made it better. A lot of times what happens is we come up with something we like, and then when we come up with the next part, we realize, oh, if this bass is going to work with those drums, I'm going to have to fix the drums a little. So you go back and you fix the drums, and then you realize your bass needs a little work. So then you fix that. Now you add something else and realize that the bass isn't working with that. You can't have this looking in the rear view mirror type attitude going all the time. You have to think about moving forward. Commit to your ideas. Once you decide on things, then you can move forward. Making music is all about making decisions. The faster we move through our decisions, the faster we get things done. The longer we linger on our decisions, the more time we have to get critical and judgmental and question our ideas, and that's going to run us into writer's block. The good news and the bad news is there are no right answers. You can't really get it wrong. But if you are questioning your ideas and wondering if you're getting the right thing, you're going to get stuck because you'll never find the right thing. You'll get frustrated and it will end in self-doubt. And that's going to take the fun out of it. You can become critical of your decisions once you're finished with your song. Then look back and decide what were the good decisions and what were the bad decisions and apply that to the next song. And now this way, as you're making your decisions fast and quickly and moving through the process, you know that you're going to have things to work on the next time. So you're kind of setting yourself up for success again the next time. But don't get critical of those decisions until you've already seen the big picture and how it's all turned out. You'll never learn these lessons if you don't go through with the decisions to see what happens. You've got to take chances. You've got to take risks. But don't worry about making bad music. Just worry about making music. Then figure out how you can make it better after you're done making something. If you make a bad song, who cares? No one ever has to hear it. Just learn from it and try again. Making music is much more about the numbers game than it is sweating every single detail. How can you really sweat the details when you don't really know how it's going to turn out? Move forward, make decisions, and figure out what you're going to do next time. And the more times you get to that point where you can figure out what needs to be done next time, the more you will progress. Keep showing up and keep creating. Sometimes you'll get lucky and sometimes you don't. But the more you play, the better your odds are. There you have it. 4 philosophical strategies you can take to be more creative and finish more music. Number 1, inspiration follows action. Number 2, adopt the yes and attitude. Number 3, don't be afraid to be simple. And number 4, make decisions and commit to them. Thanks a lot. I'm Brian Funk. If you like this kind of stuff, you might enjoy my book, The 5-Minute Music Producer. It has 365 music-making activities and philosophical takeaways you can use to make more music and be more productive. It's loaded with all kinds of stuff that will take you just a few minutes to do and will increase your creativity dramatically. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.